everything from women's roles to gay marriage to proof of God's existence. That I often act as if I'm not convinced of the motives of the Chabad. I thought about it for a while and I almost tried to back out of doing it, but then I started to really think, why are my kids here? What made me actually do this? Something I have half-heartedly already done, the research, but needed to do a little bit more if I was going to speak honestly and openly about it tonight. So I gave in. Smart Andy for making me do my research. The original reason, aside from the price being substantially lower than other synagogues and other Hebrew schools, most of my friends were here and they claimed their kids liked it a lot. I never liked going to Hebrew school, even a little bit, and my kid now had the same teacher I had when I was growing up, so I knew what was going on there. Could not have been that good. I had heard all about Chabad's innovative Olive Champ program that supposedly transformed the way kids felt about Hebrew school. I learned that it's hands-on and interactive and that kids actually liked learning Hebrew. And finally, and probably most importantly, I had heard people going on and on and on about Bracha's sushi salad. So those things, coupled with an undeniable sign from Hashem or the universe or whatever you believe, that I really could and should leave the temple I spent my entire childhood at, was enough to push me out of where I was and through the doors of the Chabad. Upon trying to come to terms with the kind of Judaism I wanted my children to identify with, I struggled with what I considered hypocrisy in religion of all forms, leading me to the question whether I should send them to Hebrew school at all or just teach them our rituals and holidays on my own. I grew up conservative, so this was a little bit weird for me. I had come to feel as if Reformed and conservative organizations were trying to be all things to all people without standing firm on anything, and secretly judging the kind of Jew that I was. What I have found with Chabad, on the other hand, is that it is not trying to be something it isn't. They are Lubavitch. They genuinely welcome everyone at their table, and when you are with them at their event, you do it their way because they are convicted of their beliefs, as we all should be. They don't care what you do away from them. They are being Jews the way they want to be, and have convinced me that they are okay with us being Jews the way that we want to be, as long as we don't give up. I think this is the most important lesson our children are learning from being at the Chabad. In generations past, families would join a synagogue as a matter of course, maybe even just to get their children bar and bat mitzvahed. Parents today are even more detached from Jewish life, with a lot of them choosing not to join a temple at all. There is this barrier of engagement that synagogues have erected that front-load membership and building fees before families can send their kids to Hebrew school at all. It's a shame how a lot of temples are so obviously run like a business, but I understand it. It's not an easy economy. It has been apparent for years that new ideas are essential to create any kind of desire for young Jewish families to connect with their community and help their children understand their Jewish history without all the guilt. So after decades of stagnation in Hebrew education, the Chabad seems to have come closer than any other community of Jews to create an environment that my kids can relate to, inspiring them with knowledge and the commitment to continue our traditions throughout their lives. Although a cynic by nature, after hearing countless people similar in mindset to me talk about what the entire Teldin clan, who we all know are staples of our community and synonymous with Chabad on Long Island, have done for them, I have come to the belief that the Chabad's first priority is to engage children and their families in Jewish life in order to keep our history alive. So thank you to Rabbi Teldin and Bracha and the entire Hebrew school staff for working so hard to ensure that our children know who they are and where they come from. And as my mother always says, Lador Vador, from generation to generation. Thank you and Mazel Tov to all the graduates and students on another successful year at Chabad.